One of the common activities we might be doing when working with simulations is to animate our results to have better visualizations on how our design responds to the different loads it gets exposed to. And so in this video, we will talk about animations. After we run a static study, SOLIDWORKS will show us a deformed result of our design. And here on the top, we can toggle that on and off. At the moment, deformed result is selected. If I deselect it, I will get a non-deformed result. And if I select it again, I will get the deformed result back. In many cases, being able to animate that will give us better representation and help us better understand our design. To animate our result, we can right-click on the plot we have selected. In this case is the stress plot, and then select the option Animate. And this will open up a small animation property manager and also start the animation for us. There are three major variables that we can control in this simple animation. Those are the frames per second, the speed, and the type. Let's take a look at them real quick. To adjust any of the settings, we have to stop the animation first. So I'll go ahead and click on stop. Here in the first box, we have the frames per second. The frames per second will govern how smooth the animation is. In practice, 30 frames per second is what is commonly used in videos with people talking or moving. And so for something like a simulation animation, we don't really need that much frames per second. For me personally, I like to leave it at 15 frames per second. However, you can take some time to play around with this number up and down until you get the type of results you're looking for. The second option we have is the speed, and this will govern the speed of the deflection that we get. So let's go ahead and run this as 150. So this will give us this type of speed. If I slow that down to, let's say, 1, you will notice that the animation is much slower. For this particular animation, let's go ahead and leave it at 75. And let me play it just to see how that looks like. I think that's a decent speed, so I'll go ahead and leave it as such. The third variable we have is the type of animation. So we have a reciprocating animation, which is the one we were just showing. And then we have a loop. And lastly, we have a forward-only option. So let's go ahead and click on the loop just to see how that looks like. So the loop will go to start to end and then go back to the start and end again. The forward-only will just be one shot from start to end. So it gets started and it ends and it stops right there. I actually like the forward-only option, so I'll go ahead and just leave it at that. Once we are satisfied with our animation, we can save it as an AVI file. And to do that, we can click on this option that says Save as AVI file. And then click on Browse, and then find a location where we want to save the file. I'm gonna click on this View with Media Player option. One key point we have to keep in mind is that after we click on the Save as an AVI file, we have to run the animation again, and during that new run-up, SOLIDWORKS will capture this animation and save it as an AVI file. And so in some instances, we have a continuous loop animation playing here in the interface, and then we want to save it as an AVI file. We have to stop the animation, select the Save As option, and then play it again. So let me go ahead and play this animation to save it. And that's about it. The animation was already saved. And so if I go to the folder that I specified earlier, I will find this animation there. So let's go ahead and find that out. So here's the folder, and here I can find my animation of 1 second. If I play it, I will get this very short animation that shows the movement. It will also show the legend and also this small box with some information about the model itself, including the plot type, deformation scale, and also the name of the model. Let me go ahead and play that again. And that's about it for our animation. The angle and the view we have in the saved animations will be the same as the angle we set in our SOLIDWORKS interface canvas. So if you're looking to change this angle for the animation, we can just go back to the SOLIDWORKS interface and adjust our view angle there, and then save a new animation. And by this, we conclude this video on making simple animations for our simulation study.